My name is Anni Alho. I'm working as a senior advisor in the Finnish Heritage Agency. One of my main duties is to coordinate the cultural roots of Council of Europe program in Finland. And as you probably many know, Art Nouveau Network is one of the 47 certified cultural roots of the Council of Europe. So today we will hear about basic concept of the network. We have Erika Giuliani from Art Nouveau Network. She's going to tell us about that. She's the coordinator of the network. And then we have 3 member organizations here today as well. Benedikte Holen, she's the director of Jugend Stilsenteret in Ålesund, Norway. And then we have Yvette Sprok from Latvia. She's a project manager in Riga Art Nouveau Center. Okay, I think we are ready to start. So please, Erika, floor is yours.
Thank you, Anni. Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, let me thank the Finnish Heritage Agency, and in particular, Anni, who is the organizer of this webinar. And thank you all for being here this morning. This occasion is really important for us because it allowed us to introduce our activities, our projects, our mission, and of course to introduce you a little bit what we do in our daily work. The Réseau Art Nouveau Network has been created in 1999 on the initiative of the Brussels Capital Region. So this year we are going to celebrate our 25th anniversary. And why this initiative? Because the Brussels Capital Region wanted gather the cities and the institutions that hold an important Art Nouveau heritage in Europe, with 3 main goals: to promote the scientific research on this topic and to ensure a proper conservation of this heritage and enhance it. And these are still, I can say, the pillars of our action today. So just to give you some figures, we are this year, 2024. It's important for us. We have another birthday to celebrate because we have been recognized as cultural roots of the Council of Europe in 2014. And as you can see, at the moment, we have 28 members, cities and institutions that represent 25 cities and 15 countries. What does it mean to be a member of RAN? First of all, it means being part of a community that is becoming ever larger, and it's made up of experts, conservators, restorers, cultural mediators, and lovers of Art Nouveau, passionate who participate in our activities to promote the Art Nouveau and its value. In particular, for professionals, it means having really the opportunity to meet each other, share good practices, discuss the most problematic aspects of their daily work and action that are conceived for general public. At the same time, it means cooperating and working together. Just to give you an example, loan policy is extremely simplified among the members, and learning materials and activities are shared and made available for everyone. Being a member also means participating in the organization of scientific activities, such as lecture series, exhibitions, workshops, symposia, and organizing the World Art Nouveau Day. The World Art Nouveau Day is our flagship activity. We are at the moment we are working at the organization of the 11th edition, and the figures and the success of this of the public really encourage us to do better every year and to propose new activities. How we work on that every year, we have a learning committee, and every year the learning committee chooses a subject, a topic that will be proposed to the whole of the members, and they ask members to design activities in line with this topic. Many activities are chosen and organized together. Then, of course, each member will adapt it according to its own heritage, culture, and the audiences it wants to involve. But it's really a big organizational machine that it's set, and the RAN Secretariat it's really concerned, and we play an important coordinating role. We spread the word about our activities using our social networks, our section, the section news in our website, and of course with a monthly newsletter. And this year we are quite proud also to be the winner among the winner of the Creative Europe call. So in 2023. We won a medium-scale project. So to be member of the RAN means also be a partner of a consortium who everyone every time is possible answer to a call for a European project. And in this frame, for the next 4 years, we are going to organize many scientific activities, 2 symposia, 5 workshops for owners, to give them some tools for better conserve their properties. For example, we are going to organize 3 summer schools for architect, restorer, and young researchers. 1 summer school will be in Brussels, 1 in Ljubljana, and 1 in Lviv. And we are going to organize 7 artistic residencies, and we are very proud of it. We are going to work together on the designing of a common pedagogical tools for children, young people, and seniors with mental deficiency. And even if just 12 of our members will be partner of this consortium, the result of this European project will be shared with the whole General Assembly, with all the other members as well. Yeah, how to become member? Cities and institutions who wish to join our association and the cultural roots can send their application by the 31 December each year, and the application are then forwarded to the scientific committee that take more or less 1 month, 6 weeks to reanalyze it, and then the application are forwarded again to the board that has to accept. And if they think that the applicants, the new applicants are valid, they are invited to present themselves and their heritage at the occasion of the General Assembly. And it's the General Assembly of our members that gives the final advice. And from the moment they are accepted, there is a membership fees of 2,000 euro per year, and this fees it's necessary for the working day, for the daily work of the Secretariat. In addition of that, we have, of course, now also more than 50 individual members. Who are these individual members? This community is composed again by professional, restorer, Art Nouveau lovers that are with us for most of them are with us from the very beginning. And for an annual membership fee of €50, they have the right to participate to our General Assembly, to the visits that are very exclusive and that are organized for our members, institutional and individual members. And from this year, but I really hope that we are going to be able to offer that every year to celebrate the RAN anniversary. We are offering all the individual members a pass that offers free admission, discounts in our members bookshop, and large reduction for visits, for example, thanks to the generosity of our institutional members. And I really hope that we are able to offer that every year from 2024. So at the moment, as I told before, we have 28 members, and the scientific committee is analyzing 3 new applications. So we really hope that, as I told you, we are becoming our network is becoming wider and wider. So from my side, I think it's all, and I would like now to thank our members that are presented today, and I leave the floor to Benedict Olen.
Thank you, Erika. Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Annie, for the invitation to participate in this webinar, and of course for the opportunity to present some of the benefits of being part of the Riso Art Nouveau network for us as an Art Nouveau Jugendstil museum. I will use both the terms Jugendstil and Art Nouveau in this presentation. I am an art historian, I'm a curator and the director of Jugendstilcenteret and Kube since late 2021. Prior to that, I worked in the museum as a curator since 2013. I'm also a current member of the board of the Riso Art Nouveau network. Next slide, please, Erika. So Jugendstilcenteret and Kube is the art museum in the county of Møre og Romsdal, which is on the western part of Norway. So the museum is part of Foundation Viti, which is the largest cultural institution between Bergen and Trondheim, consisting of several museums in the Sunnmøre region, ranging from medieval museum to folk music to Art Nouveau and contemporary art. So Jugendstilcenteret and Kube receives funding from the Norwegian Ministry of Culture and Equality, the County of Møre and Romsdal, and the City of Ålesund. So the museum is a museum of art, architecture, and design, and cares for a collection of art from the late 1800s up to today's contemporary art. Jugendstilcenteret and Kube is located in the town of Ålesund, and Jugendstilcenteret is also the national, if you go back to the other slide. So the museum is also the national center of Art Nouveau in Norway. The museum opened in 2003. And last year we celebrated its 20th anniversary, and we celebrated this with a seminar and a public program which we chose to organize at the same time in relation to the World Art Nouveau Day that Erika just mentioned. Every June 10th every year, the network has a celebration of the Art Nouveau Day. So the museum is in a protected building. You can see to the right in the picture here, and it is in a protected building in the middle of the city center in Ålesund. So the building is from 1907, and it is designed by the architect Hagbart Skytteberg. It was originally built as a pharmacy and a residency for the pharmacist and his family. So the building still goes by the name Swan Pharmacy, and is a prime example of the Norwegian Jugendstil. So the protected status applies to the entire building, including original interiors, the pharmacy shop interior, the main staircase, and the residence. And the building itself is a testament to the vision and craftsmanship of the architects and artisans who created this blend of art and architecture, at the same time emphasizing what was very unique for the Norwegian cultural heritage. And the building next to it is Cube, hence the name Jugendstilsenteret and Cube. It's a former bank building and now part of the museum. So Cube opened in 2005 and is mainly an arena for contemporary art, but we use both buildings in various ways for different exhibitions and projects. So yearly, the museum welcomes about 40,000 inhabitants, which is quite a lot for a town of about 60,000 inhabitants. So we have a lot of tourists visiting us throughout the year. Next slide, please. So the reason for a Jugendstilsenter is in Ålesund, in this small western Norwegian town, is because there was a devastating city fire in 1904, and it prompted the redesign and the reconstruction of Ålesund. So most of Ålesund was rebuilt in only 3 years, and the architects embraced the new style at the time, so resulting in one of the most cohesive urban landscapes in Art Nouveau in Europe. So Ålesund is often referred to as the Jugendstil city and holds a quite unique position in the history of Art Nouveau, both in Norway and in Northern Europe. So what makes Ålesund so unique is the density of Jugendstil buildings within the city center. About 350 buildings were raised in these 3 years after the fire. So this is quite unparalleled also in an international context. Next slide, please. So here you see some of the original interior. This is the original dining room in the building. So Ålesund and Jugendstilsenteret is one of the founding members. Erika mentioned that term, founding members, earlier, I think. So we were one of the founding members of the Réseau Art Nouveau network back in late 1990s, early 2000, and membership is still of great value to us. The network was founded at a time where Jugendstilsenteret was in progress of being realized. So at that specific point in time, it was very crucial to have an international network of experts to lean on. So 5 years before Jugendstilsenteret opened, it opened in 2003. So in 1998, there was an international symposium organized in Ålesund. And participants later contributed to the establishment of the Réseau Art Nouveau network just a few years after. Mm-hmm. So that was an important event in Ålesund. So the acknowledgement of Ålesund's architectural significance grew alongside a very broader appreciation for Art Nouveau globally. And as preservation efforts, historical studies, and cultural interests expanded, Ålesund's Jugendstil architecture also gained more prominence and recognition. So eventually it became a source of pride for the city and an attraction for tourists interested in Jugendstil and Art Nouveau. And especially through efforts initiated by the UNESCO concerning Art Nouveau, it was in the 1990s quite evident that Ålesund holds quite a unique responsibility in preserving a large contiguous urban area. So I think I can claim with certainty that participation in the Réseau Art Nouveau network helped to raise the status both of the architecture in Ålesund and also Jugendstilsenteret as an institution in SPE. So 20 years after Jugendstilsenteret opened, the extensive networking opportunities provided by the network continue to be one of the primary benefits. Institutions like Jugendstilcenteret can connect with similar organizations, and we can foster collaborations, knowledge exchange, and also, as Erika has introduced now, shared initiatives. Until recently, one of my colleagues was a member of this scientific committee in the network, and another colleague is a current member of the learning committee. So we have this international exchange continuously, almost, and it's very, very nice to have this canal out to the other countries that are interested in the same subjects. And one of the shared initiatives that have been of very great importance for us is the projects made possible by funding from the European Commission and Creative Europe funds, because without the network, this is funding and money that we couldn't have and had reached without, and being part of the network, we have been able to do several projects who could not be realized without these opportunities. So Ålesund and Jugendstilcenteret have been partners in several of these European projects with the RAN, such as Art Nouveau in Progress between 2001 to 2004, Art Nouveau and Society 2005 to 2008, and also Art Nouveau and Ecology from 2010 to 2015. So some of these projects have had traveling exhibitions, and some of them have been organized in other ways. And we were also a partner in the application. Unfortunately, that was a refused project, the only refused project I think that RAN has applied for in 2018, where we were part of the Inside Art Nouveau. I think it was 1 point from receiving the money, I think, at that time. And actually a film from the Art Nouveau and Society project, where the current members, or at the time, members from at that time was presented, is still part of our presentation and the permanent exhibition in Jugendstilcenteret. So the older projects, they live on after. So next slide, please. So taking part in such projects give access not only to funding to secure the realization of joint projects, but it also, I would emphasize, it ensures growth in the research field, which is quite important for us as a museum. Research is one of our main tasks as a museum. So the research of Art Nouveau that all the network's members benefit from is important. And to celebrate the network's 20th anniversary in 2019, the Réseau Art Nouveau network organized an international symposium on Art Nouveau interiors that also resulted in a publication that you see on this image: Research, Reflect, Restore, Reuse. And this is one of several examples of how knowledge is distributed and shared. So seminars and publications such as this enables member institutions to enhance their expertise, to share their best practices, and of course also to stay updated on the latest research and conservation methods also related to Art Nouveau. Jugendstilcenteret is also an advisory institution, so staying updated on conservation methods is something that's really important for us. And our contribution to this project, the Art Nouveau interiors, were sharing our experiences with restoring the original staircase in Jugendstilcenteret. So next slide, please. Or maybe this was the last one.
The last one.
Okay, so we can stay with the last one. So visibility, before we move on to Iveta. Visibility is the final point that I would like to address. Ålesund is Norway's biggest cruise ship harbor. I mentioned that we have about 40,000 visitors yearly, with only about 60,000 permanent residents. It's about, I think the cruise from 2023, it was around 650,000 cruise tourists. So there you go. But a lot of tourists already come here for the unique combination of nature and architecture. But still, the network's status as a European cultural route contributes very strongly to the awareness of Jugendstilcenteret as a tourist destination. So we believe that our participation in the network has put both the city of Ålesund and the museum Jugendstilcenteret on the map, but as well as pinpointing us on the international map of Art Nouveau. So the exposure through the network not only promotes the institutions, but it also contributes to a more global understanding and appreciation of Art Nouveau. So at the end of this small presentation, I want to take the opportunity to emphasize also the need for a wider geographic perspective within the network. Especially Art Nouveau in the Nordic region of Europe is quite unique. It has its own features that differs from those in Central Europe. So I therefore really want to encourage both cities and institutions from the Nordic countries to apply for membership. And especially I hope to see Helsinki return to the network, because Helsinki used to be a member. So that was it from me, and I'm happy to answer any questions during the round afterwards. So for now, thank you very much for the attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Benedikt. And now I leave the floor to Iveta Sproja, who is the project manager of the Riga Art Nouveau Center. Please, Iveta.
Hello to everyone. Greetings from Riga. Riga, capital of the Republic of Latvia. Riga is a city which is one of the most important in Baltic region, the third largest port city in Baltic Sea. And this city reached the age 823. And the cultural heritage includes a lot of different ages, but Art Nouveau cultural heritage is most prominent, most valuable, what we could show in our museum. And greetings from our staff. You see the last one Christmas time picture, where our guides and colleagues greeting to each other and the visitors in this year, because we are really happy about the great interest about Art Nouveau in Riga. And last year we reached the visitors back the such amount as before the COVID. That is quite enough. If we say 39,000 visitors to one smart apartment. A small apartment, I say, because the Art Nouveau Center is established in the apartment of famous, most productive architect Konstantin Spēkšēns. And this Art Nouveau building on Alberta Street 12 is under private ownership, but the museum established 15 years ago, and this is a municipality governed museum. And the main idea to establish this museum and organize this center devoted to Art Nouveau cultural heritage is thanks to one great person in Latvia who devoted all, or could say most of his life on research on Art Nouveau heritage. And maybe some of you know him. That is a doctor of architecture, a professor of Riga Technical University.
Thank you, Iveta. Thank you very much. Now it's the turn of Benjamin.
I think he's not online yet, so I think we can take some questions here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put recording off now, so feel free to raise your virtual hand, or you can also write your questions to the chat box. Just a second.
Jānis Krastīņš. And thanks to his research done, the cooperation with Réseau Art Nouveau Network began. If we see the small pocket-size book printed in 1980, it was a beginning, but when the Latvia gained back independence and independent state was established, the Riga city and Latvia cultural heritage has been accessible to European cities, and people came here, and also the World Art Nouveau heritage was dedicated, and UNESCO history and nature heritage list was Riga was listed on this list on 1997, and it's a reason to say that Riga is metropolis of world European Art Nouveau, because in such high concentration and so high artistic quality, there are no other city. And if you will pay attention on the map of Riga and Art Nouveau buildings on that, and open our website Jugendstils at riga.lv, you will be surprised by so many and how high quality and amazing Art Nouveau buildings. What we can explore not only on our museum, but we share that on the European level. And the beginning of the cooperation with Réseau Art Nouveau Network started with a historical lab called Historical Lab, what was under the European project Art Nouveau and Progress. And the specialists from Réseau came to Riga in October 2006. And the topic of this conference was ornamentation and in Art Nouveau. And that was a surprise for specialists and also for colleagues from Réseau Art Nouveau Network. And that was a real reason to come together, and the initiative of Brussels Capital Region to unite people, cities with a rich Art Nouveau heritage. It was Riga is like that. And now we can celebrate 50 years of official cooperation with the Réseau Art Nouveau Network. And these years, we can, during these years, we did not only realization of European projects like Art Nouveau and ecology, what was very, very successful. And as I know, the visitors to this exhibition in Riga has gained the most amount of the visitors in St. Peter Church. Next slide, please. Erika, next slide, please. Yeah, if in this picture, I would like to pay your attention to cultural heritage from all Réseau Art Nouveau cities came together, and has been shared during this Art Nouveau and ecology exhibition on the lightened walls. But another opportunity of network was to come together and do research on strange world and symbolism of Art Nouveau. And the catalog, what has also prepared during this project, Art Nouveau and Ecology, was very successful. And Riga Art Nouveau Center prepared translation, and that still very important and we in use for visitors of Riga Art Nouveau Center. The most important thing, but we also could mention is opportunity to share our cultural heritage on the website. Nowadays, people spend a lot of time seeking different information about history, about the culture, and the website Réseau Art Nouveau Network shows richness of all Art Nouveau, Réseau Art Nouveau Network cities, and that really important to us to show and be mentioned on this website. And we see that it very useful, because a lot of people coming to Riga, and most of them are informed about such Réseau Art Nouveau network, and that means that it works. And another benefit, what we should say, is the opportunity to exchange experience and share best practices of restoration is during the meetings of Réseau Art Nouveau Network. And on 2014, it was in Riga organized, but I'm really glad that I had an opportunity to share policies of restoration in Helsinki on 2013, when a travel exhibition was opened there, and also in Glasgow. And these meetings, they are not only exchange of experiences, but also it's a good basement for connections and strengthening connection between the institutions, and making different others projects. And if I have time, I would like to thank also to Ålesund Art Nouveau Center, Jugendstil Center, because thanks to cooperation what was started at the beginning of Réseau, the cooperation and interest about the heritage in Riga was gained another project, European Economic Area grant for digitalization of cultural heritage. And we were partners on this project, and therefore our museum, what is situated on the historical building of Art Nouveau, has also digital exposition on the basement. And the research done on this, thanks to grants in cooperation with Norwegian colleagues, was very important to Baltic region, because Riga and Riga Art Nouveau Center is only a center of Art Nouveau in that region. And I would like to say that most important, also important, is to participate in activities on the international level, like competitions for grants. And these projects are important and very useful for students, researchers, professionals who who other way didn't came in contact, and the resort network is very, very important role in this development of research and restoration, and thanks to this cooperation, the people are acknowledged about the common things over the Europe, and the exchange experience, not only how to restore or how to preserve heritage, but how to attract people to these cultural sites, and the new traditions arise, and one of them is World Art Nouveau Day, what we will celebrate 12th time, and each year we invite new people what are very interested in guided tours in the interiors, and participating in contests of photo or drawings and concerts, and we feel strength, power of this unity, because we know and share these programs of events over the all Europe, and people are more aware about this heritage, about this important part of the history, what during the Soviet time was quite denied and not evaluated. And if I can end my presentation about our experience during the cooperation with RESO, we are really thankful for all representatives from RESO. Next slide, please. And next, yeah, another one. No, it's back. We lost a little bit. Yeah, some of pictures you can see the members from and came to Riga, and the cooperation with specialists from Horta Museum, from Nancy, from Brussels, from I'm afraid not mentioned, but I think that we sharing our best practices, and our cooperation is very successful, and in this term the new project Art Nouveau as New Utopia is next level, but we can cooperate together, and good luck to everyone in this project, and keep together. Thank you very much.